Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we re-dive into one of the most fascinating and practical topics for anyone living in or thinking about moving to the United States. The difference between cheap states and expensive states. Whether you're planning a move, curious about where your money stretches the furthest, or just love learning about the quirks of American life, this video is for you. We often hear people say, "Oh, California is so expensive," or "You can live like a king in Mississippi." But what does that really mean? Is it just about rent, or groceries, or taxes? The truth is, the cost of living is a complex puzzle, and today, we're going to break it down piece by piece. By the end of this video, you'll not only know which states are the cheapest and which are the most expensive, but you'll also understand why they are that way, and what trade-offs you might face if you decide to live there. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's explore America through the lens of affordability. Before we jump into lists, let's define our terms. What actually makes a state cheap or expensive? Housing costs. This is the single biggest factor. Rent and home prices vary wildly. For example, a one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco might cost $3,000 a month, while in Jackson, Mississippi, you could pay under $800. Taxes. States like Florida and Texas have no state income tax, which can save residents thousands. Meanwhile, states like California and New York have some of the highest tax rates in the country. Healthcare, insurance premiums, hospital costs, and prescription prices differ by state. Groceries and utilities. Food, electricity, and gas prices can swing depending on geography and infrastructure. Transportation. Owning a car in rural states may be necessary, while in cities like New York, public transit is available but costly. Wages and job opportunities. A cheap state isn't always better if wages are low. Conversely, expensive states often have higher salaries, but not always enough to offset costs. This framework will guide us as we explore the cheapest and most expensive states. Now that we've explored the cheapest and most expensive states in America, let's talk about what those numbers actually mean for everyday life. Because affordability isn't just about saving money, it's about the trade-offs you make in lifestyle, opportunity, and long-term happiness. This framework will guide us as we explore the cheapest and most expensive states. 1. West Virginia. West Virginia consistently ranks as the most affordable state in the U.S., with a cost of living index around 84.1, nearly 16% below the national average. Homes are about 40% cheaper than the U.S. average. A median home costs under $150,000. Groceries and utilities. Everyday expenses are low, thanks to local agriculture and energy production. Lifestyle. Scenic mountains, outdoor recreation, and a slower pace of life. Trade-offs. Wages are lower, and job opportunities are concentrated in mining, energy, and healthcare. 2. Mississippi. Mississippi is often cited as the cheapest state overall, with housing costs among the lowest nationwide. Average home prices hover around $150,000, and rent is well below $1,000 for most apartments. Healthcare. Costs are lower than the national average. Culture. Rich in history, music, and Southern cuisine. Trade-offs. Poverty rates are higher, and wages lag behind national averages. 3. Oklahoma. Oklahoma combines affordability with a growing economy. Housing. Rent and utilities are cheap, with median home prices around $180,000. Jobs, energy, aerospace, and agriculture drive the economy. Lifestyle. Known for wide open spaces and friendly communities. Challenges. Tornado risk and limited public transportation. 4. Kansas. Kansas offers affordability with a strong agricultural backbone. Housing. Homes are inexpensive, especially in rural areas. Cost of living. Overall expenses are about 10 to 15% below the national average. Lifestyle. Family-friendly, with a slower pace and strong community ties. Trade-offs. Limited nightlife and cultural diversity compared to coastal states. 5. Alabama. Alabama is another southern state where your dollar stretches far. Housing, affordable homes, and low property taxes. Healthcare. Costs are below the national average. Culture. Rich traditions in food, music, and sports. Challenges. Lower wages and educational outcomes compared to national averages. 6. Arkansas. Arkansas balances affordability with natural beauty. Housing. Median home prices under $180,000. Lifestyle. Outdoor recreation in the Ozarks, rivers, and forests. Jobs. Growing opportunities in healthcare and retail. Trade-offs. Rural areas may lack access to advanced healthcare and education. 7. Missouri. Missouri offers affordability with urban and rural options. Housing. St. Louis and Kansas City are more expensive, but rural areas are very affordable. Cost of living, about 10% below the national average. Culture, blend of Midwestern and Southern traditions. Challenges, crime rates in some urban areas. 8. Iowa. Iowa is a Midwest gem with affordability and stability. Housing. Median home prices around $200,000. Lifestyle. Safe communities, strong schools, and agricultural heritage. Jobs, agriculture, manufacturing, and insurance industries. Trade-offs. Winters can be harsh, and rural areas may feel isolated. 9. Tennessee. Tennessee combines affordability with cultural vibrancy. Housing. Median home prices around $250,000. Still below the national average. Taxes. No state income tax, which saves residents thousands annually. Culture. Music capital. Nashville, Memphis. Rich history and outdoor recreation. Challenges. Rapid population growth has increased housing demand in cities. 10. Kentucky. Kentucky rounds out the list with affordability and tradition. Housing. Median home prices under $200,000. Lifestyle, known for bourbon, horse racing, and rolling hills. Jobs. Agriculture, manufacturing, and healthcare. Trade-offs. Lower wages and limited urban opportunities compared to larger states. Top 10 most expensive states in America. When we talk about expensive states, we're not just talking about high rent. We're talking about the full package. Housing, groceries, utilities, healthcare, and taxes. These states are where the cost of living is significantly above the national average, often driven by demand, geography, and economic opportunity. Let's explore the top 10.1. Hawaii. Cost of living index. 186.9. Nearly double the national average. Housing. Median home prices exceed $800,000. Rent is among the highest in the nation. Groceries and utilities. Everything costs more due to imports. A gallon of milk can cost $7 to $8. Lifestyle, paradise, beaches, tropical climate, and unique culture. Trade-offs. High costs offset by natural beauty and slower pace of life. 2. Massachusetts. Index 145.9. Housing. Boston's median home price is over $700,000. Healthcare and education, among the most expensive in the country. Jobs. Strong in tech, healthcare, and education. Lifestyle, rich history, culture, and world-class universities. Trade dash-offs. High salaries, but costs often outpace income. 3. California Index 144.8. Housing. Median home price around $750,000 statewide, with San Francisco and Los Angeles far higher. Taxes. Among the highest in the nation. Jobs, tech, entertainment, and agriculture. Lifestyle. beaches, mountains, and cultural diversity. Trade-offs. Incredible opportunities, but housing affordability crisis. 4. District of Columbia Index, 141.9. Housing. Rent for a one-bedroom averages $2,500. Plus, lifestyle, political hub, museums, and vibrant city life. Trade-offs. High costs, but strong job market in government and law. 5. Alaska Index, 123.8. Housing. Remote areas drive up costs, groceries and utilities. High due to shipping and energy needs. Lifestyle, stunning natural beauty, outdoor adventure. Trade-offs. Residents receive an annual oil dividend, which offsets costs slightly. 6. New York Index, 123.3. Housing. NYC rent averages $3,500 for a one-bedroom. Groceries and transportation. High costs across the board. Lifestyle, cultural capital, endless opportunities. Trade-offs. High salaries, but often not enough to offset costs. 7. Maryland Index, 115.3. Housing. Expensive suburbs near DC jobs. Strong in government, healthcare, and defense. Lifestyle. Access to both city and coastal living. Trade-offs. High taxes and housing costs. 8. New Jersey Index, 114.6. Housing. Median home price, around $500,000. Taxes. Property taxes, among the highest in the nation. Lifestyle. Proximity to NYC and Philadelphia. Trade-offs. High costs balanced by strong job market. 9. Vermont Index, 114.4. Housing. Limited supply drives up prices. Lifestyle. Scenic beauty. Small-town charm. Trade-offs. High costs, despite rural setting. 10. Washington Index, 114.2. Housing. Seattle's median home price exceeds $700,000. Jobs. Tech hub with Amazon and Microsoft. Lifestyle. Outdoor recreation. Progressive culture. Trade-offs. High salaries, but housing affordability is a major issue. Cost of living versus quality of life. Cheap states often mean lower grocery bills, utility costs, and healthcare expenses. Everyday life feels less financially stressful. Expensive states, however, often provide better healthcare facilities, more diverse food options, and advanced infrastructure. The trade-off is clear. Affordability versus access. Example. In Hawaii, groceries are double the national average, but residents enjoy fresh produce, outdoor living, and a unique cultural environment. In Arkansas, groceries are cheap, but specialty items or advanced healthcare may be harder to find. Culture versus simplicity. Expensive states are cultural hubs. New York offers Broadway, world-class museums, and endless nightlife. California has Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and diverse communities. Cheap states often offer simpler lifestyles, community events, local traditions, and slower living. The trade-off is between vibrancy and simplicity. A young artist might thrive in New York despite the high rent, because the cultural exposure is priceless. A retiree might prefer Kentucky, where life is slower, cheaper, and community bonds are stronger. Transportation and accessibility in cheap states. Public transportation is limited. Owning a car is often a necessity, which adds costs like insurance and fuel. Expensive states often have robust public transit systems, but they come with high fares and crowded commutes. The trade-off: independence versus convenience. In Oklahoma, you'll likely need a car to get anywhere, but traffic is light and parking is cheap. In Washington, D.C., you can rely on the metro, but it's costly and often congested. Wages versus expenses. Cheap states usually mean lower wages, but expenses are also lower. Expensive states offer higher wages, but costs often rise faster than salaries. The trade-off: is whether your paycheck feels big enough after expenses. A nurse in Alabama might earn $60,000 and live comfortably with low housing costs. A nurse in Massachusetts might earn $90,000 but struggle with rent and taxes. Environment and lifestyle. Cheap states often mean more space, less congestion, and closer ties to nature. Expensive states often mean urban density, faster pace, and more stress, but also more amenities. The trade-off: tranquility versus excitement. In Iowa, families enjoy large yards and quiet neighborhoods. In New York City, families live in apartments, but have access to endless cultural and educational opportunities. Family versus individual priorities. Families often prefer cheap states because housing, schools, and community life are more affordable. Young professionals often prefer expensive states for networking, career growth, and nightlife. The trade-off depends on life stage. A family of 4 might thrive in Tennessee, where there's no state income tax and affordable housing. Single graduate might prefer Boston, despite the costs, because of the academic and career opportunities. Long-term stability versus short-term gains. Cheap states offer stability. Lower costs, slower growth, and less volatility. Expensive states offer short-term gains, booming industries, high salaries, and fast-paced living. The trade-off is between security and ambition. Retirees often move to Alabama or Arkansas to stretch their savings. Ambitious professionals flock to California or New York, hoping to climb the ladder despite the costs. Cheap housing, expensive healthcare. West Virginia and Mississippi are famous for low housing costs. You can buy a home for under $150,000, which is unheard of in places like California. But here's the catch. Healthcare costs in these states are disproportionately high compared to income. Limited access to advanced medical facilities means residents often pay more for specialized care or travel long distances for treatment. So while your mortgage might be small, your medical bills could be larger than expected. High wages, high taxes. New York and California offer some of the highest wages in the country, especially in industries like tech, finance, and entertainment. But both states also have some of the highest tax burdens. California's state income tax can reach over 13%, while New York combines state and city taxes that eat into paychecks. The result, even with 6-figure salaries, many residents feel squeezed. Alaska's unique case. Alaska is one of the most expensive states due to shipping costs, remote living, and high utility bills. Groceries can be double the national average. Yet, Alaska offers something no other state does: the permanent fund dividend. Each year, residents receive a cash payout from the state's oil revenues, often ranging from $1,000 to $2,000 per person. This doesn't erase the high costs, but is a fascinating example of how a state offsets its challenges with unique benefits. The big picture. These comparisons remind us that affordability isn't one-dimensional. A state might look cheap on paper but hide expensive realities in healthcare or taxes. Conversely, expensive states sometimes offer perks like higher wages or unique benefits that balance the equation. Tips for moving or choosing a state. So, how do you decide where to live? Whether you're relocating for work, retirement, or adventure. Here are some practical tips to guide your choice. Consider job opportunities. Cheap rent is great, but if the local job market is weak, you may struggle financially. Look at industries thriving in each state. Tech in California, finance in New York, energy in Texas, healthcare in Tennessee. Each state has its strengths. Factor in taxes. Taxes can make or break affordability. States like Florida, Texas, and Tennessee have no state income tax, which can save thousands annually. On the flip side, states like California, New York, and New Jersey have high tax burdens that eat into salaries. Think about lifestyle preferences. Do you prefer fast-paced city life with endless cultural opportunities? Then expensive states like New York or Massachusetts might suit you. Do you value space, quiet, and affordability? Then cheap states like Arkansas or Kentucky may be better. Climate also matters. Alaska's beauty comes with harsh winters, while Hawaii's paradise comes with sky-high costs. Don't just chase cheap rent. Housing is important, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. Consider healthcare, groceries, utilities, and transportation. A cheap apartment in a state with high healthcare costs may not save you money in the long run. Visit before you move. Numbers can't capture the feel of a place. Spend time in the state before committing. Walk the neighborhoods, talk to locals, and experience the lifestyle firsthand. So, is it better to live in a cheap state or an expensive one? The answer depends entirely on your priorities. Cheap states if you value affordability, space, and a slower lifestyle. Heap states are perfect. You'll enjoy lower housing costs, smaller grocery bills, and less financial stress. But you may face trade-offs in wages, healthcare access, and cultural opportunities. Expensive states if you crave culture, opportunity, and don't mind paying more. Expensive states could be worth it. You'll find vibrant cities, diverse communities, and booming industries. But you'll also face high housing costs, taxes, and everyday expenses. The key is balance. Neither cheap nor expensive states are inherently better. Each offers unique advantages and challenges. The real question is, what matters most to you? Is it financial stability, career growth, cultural vibrancy,
or peace of mind?
Or peace of mind? At the end of the day, choosing where to live is about aligning your lifestyle with your values. Cheap states give you breathing room financially. Expensive states give you access to opportunity and culture. The best choice is the one that fits your goals, your family, and your future. Before you go, I've got one quick question for you. Would you rather stretch your dollar in a cheaper state or chase opportunity in a more expensive one? Think about it while you hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.